Greetings from home, dear ones. We join you this day with your game well in progress. You are making astounding leaps forward in your consciousness. We see this with great abide and share it with you because it is our vision from home. We'll share with you a little bit today of the larger aspect because there are harmonies and also repetitions throughout your world. In reality, your time that you know it to be linear time, but in truth it is circular time. And you repeat things over and over and over again. That's how you accomplish advancement and empowerment in your life, pretending to be a human. And now what's taken place is all humans everywhere are starting to align in different ways. Now, we understand that you look at your communications, you look at your news, you look at everything that's taking place in your world, and you see dishevel, you see arguments, you see more division, probably than you have seen in a very long time. Well, we see it too. But we also tell you it's not new. It has always been there. What has happened is with the technologies and the advents of the new forms of communication, which you are now capable of, you're starting to uncover things that you haven't seen before. Plus the fact, as the Keeper said earlier, because of the levels of technology which are now developing, so many different influences are available. And it's very difficult to get an overview of any kind with any accuracy. Well, this will continue for a while. Is it a problem? Not from our perspective. In truth, none of these differences and all these challenges that you see could find a way out until it was uncovered and opened up. That is what has started to happen on your planet. You're starting to see that there's a wide variety, much wider than what most people thought, no matter where you are in that acclamation. It makes no difference because everyone thinks everyone else around them thinks very similarly. But it's fascinating to see how people project a reality and then walk into it. And it's happening over and over and over again. It's causing some of the frustration because what it means is that people are not acting in the normal way and you don't know what to expect. Well, that throws a fear into most of humans. And that throws an uncertainty about where you're going and how you're going to work with your aspects and how this is going to work. Well, we tell you, there are certain things you can do to move past this. Obviously, the very common sense things, which we will also tell you about, is to prepare for the worst and expect the best. And that's simple. Because your energy is also needed for this to happen, for this to take in a new world. But you also tell you, dear ones, you have been on a path of change, and especially in the United States. This may be the door opening for exactly that change. And in truth, it will turn out wonderful. Now, there are difficulties in the meantime. There are challenges to go through. But we tell you there are many beings on edge waiting to make these moves and being there waiting to make their voices heard. Now we ask you all to be the same because you have a voice no matter where you are in the process. We don't care what side you're on. In fact, the sides will start diminishing when you start really seeing what this is because it isn't the division. You're so accustomed as humans to seeing everything in duality. The moment you have a new concept, you immediately decide whether it's right or wrong, good or bad. You put your polarity and the duality on it. And the duality is what you see now grasping Earth in the most difficult ways. It's what's causing the fear. It's what's causing the backlash sometimes. Well, to simply see the way out is all that's necessary to see the opportunities to grow to that next level and to work with it. And as we've told you, dear ones, all of it is accomplished through waves. Even the advancement of humanity itself moves back and forth on this big fulcrum until finally it can't take the pressure anymore and it jumps to the next point and it advances. And it starts swinging again until it advances to the next point. That is how humanity works, so you can expect the forward and the back movements. Now, what you are also starting to see is an opening. New realities starting to shift. And the fact that they are new and unprecedented is what is drawing so much attention to them, is what happened during your elections. Now, there's many things that you can point to as to what took place and why. But we tell you, even though you will discover irregularities in your voting system, as we have predicted before, it will actually not make a big difference in the outcome of where you are and where you're moving. So watch for it. But these are times, dear ones, where you each decide what your vision of the planet looks like. Because it's going to be incredibly important that you hold that vision in harmony with others. Because that's what you brought to Earth. That one little piece of the puzzle that nobody else could carry, nobody else could work with in the same ways that you did. And now you're going to find time to work with those. Now, the larger aspect of planet Earth itself is in this wave pattern, moving back and forth, tilting back and forth consistently, but moving forward at a fairly steady pace. Now, what you're going to see is that there are times when things get moving too fast, very simply, and you'll see restrictions that are completely unexpected. Now, it doesn't mean that you're going to end the world. You're here. You've made a vow to create the new world. You might just get your chance, because that's what you've been asking for. That's where this is going, dear ones. The times of Lemuria, you knew so much about each other, about yourselves, and about how you interacted in the world around you. There are certain aspects which are strictly human that all of you deal with. Reaction, action, feeling threatened, closing your energy off, repelling things and magnetizing things to you. You do it all the time. It's how you interact in the world around you. Now we're going to ask you to disconnect once in a while. Don't take responsibility for everything that happens in front of you. You will be exhausted by the time your name is called, because you are needed and you are carrying a very important piece. Now we also ask you to envision the future, because that's where you're all moving. And if you plant little seeds of yourselves and your feelings in the future, these are magnetic imprints that you're able to place on a timeline in a very specific way. And with circular time, it's only a matter of that circle before you're dealing with the same issue again. You see this in people on Earth all the time. They deal with a big issue, whatever it is. They go through a big expression of that issue, and then everything seems to be fine for a number of years until they find themselves in the same situation again with different people. Circular time. Now, that is how you deal with issues that you wish to resolve, but you can also plant positive energy on the circular time. And that's what we're asking you to do today. By placing that energy on the circular time frame, you not only ensure that you have a future, but you even speed up the process. Yes, it speeds up the circular time. It basically causes things to move forward. So how does one imprint on that circular time? That's done through your passion, dear ones. That's why you have it. It's not actually the process of doing your passion, it's what you feel. It's how you enlighten up. And every part of you starts to glow and carry a bit more light. Every cell in your body starts to handle and be able to store more of the photonic energy, more of the light particles that make you up. And you're also going to see quite an advancement in the human animal itself. where your spirit is now able to be more present in your experience on earth, your body will adjust to make that happen. You start to see changes in many ways, and you'll also see some of the shifts of your consciousness as you start to come together in new ways and make new connections to each other, because that's truly where the answers are. Now, the larger aspect of the wave. You've made these huge waves. Every time a new wave breaks new ground, it makes your headlines. You talk about it. You celebrate it. Or sometimes you may fear it if you're against it in some way. But that's what happens and how it moves forward. What you don't always see is the recessional wave, the wave backwards. Many times it is hidden from view. Many times you choose not to look at it, very simply, so you hide it from yourself and your own view. But what's happening is really beautiful, because even though this has many people in fear, it is actually an opportunity to look at everything and re-examine every particle of what you're building toward the future. Now the new energy is coming, it's here, you're learning to acclimate into it, and it's growing ever since the 27th of September. It's moving at an incredible pace. You're also going to see some anomalies taking place that will not easily be explained. And some of that has to do with the gravitational wave that went through here about a year ago. Unbelievable what that has opened up. We'll tell you more about that as time goes forward, but expect miracles and expect even your physics to change a bit as you start to open up your understanding of all that is. Be able to use it in your daily life instead of just spiritual. Many times, dear ones, you have had to retreat into a very deep meditation, completely blocking off every aspect of your daily life so that you could go in and renew your spirit. What if you could renew it without disconnecting? What if you could walk in full connection with that meditative spirit with every step? That's what's happening. And that's what each and every one of you are in training for at the moment. All different levels of advancement, coming together with a singular purpose of bringing love on this planet. Yes, that's the job that's at hand for all of you. That's the next level of humanity that you're starting to see. Now, the interesting part is that bandwidth of humanity was a bit wider than most people thought. So this is a time of reflection. This is a time of understanding. This is a time to take an inventory of who you are and what aspects you resonate with. And to become aware of even cultures, energies, which you would normally not look at. They're normally not your vibration. This is a time to start stretching some of that. Becoming aware of how people react on Earth, even how people think. And although we've talked much about belief systems on your planet, we tell you even to understand another's belief system can be huge. It can make more of a difference than you can imagine. It can turn planet Earth on a dime. And that's exactly what this looks like. Now, there's much to go in front of you. There's much work to do. There's energy to settle, no matter where you are on the planet. And you've all agreed to make this beautiful heart connection, which we see from home. It looks like the most beautiful, intricate web protecting the Earth, enlightening the hearts and carrying the energy from home. Each of you are a part of it. You proudly hold that banner, being a light worker on planet Earth, carrying that energy from home and reminding people who they are. Good. Well done, dear ones. And now for just a moment, I will retreat and be back momentarily. Well, there you are. Sierra, I'm from Rhythmic Service here. Hey, I thought I'd come and tickle your funny bone a little bit. Kind of change the rhythm a little bit for most of you. You know, humans just been thinking way too much. There's smoke coming out of the head. You're starting to pollute the air with it. It's just getting ridiculous sometimes. So I just want to tell you, you know, you can smile your way home without a problem. You create your own reality in front of you, no matter what country you live in, no matter what government you work with, no matter what you've got around you. Each of you have a beautiful energy which can be just light up the world around you in different ways. So stop giving your power away to people around you. Stop giving your power away to things that might happen here on planet Earth. You're the powerful ones. We made sure of that before you left home. We charged your battery packs in ways that only we can do it. And we did a pretty good job of it too. So you got lots of extra energy in there. We know some of you get really tired. You get tired of carrying things on your shoulder. Sometimes you're carrying too much. But we know and we feel it. And we want to tell you, we've got you. You can't fall if you tried. You're on a path of greatness. You're on a path that has been opened many times before, but never completed. You'll be the first, and we mean that sincerely. You've already passed all the markers of those that have gone before you. You clearly even passed those in the days of Atlantis and the days of Lemuria. But you're still trying to harmonize it all and bring that big bandwidth of humanity a little bit closer as you step into the next levels of it. There's a lot you can work with. Keep in mind, you've got a rhythm of the heart. And that's magical because each of you are different with it. Share that rhythm. Share what makes your heart sing. Step into it in some way. Experience something, part of your life over the next few weeks. Because we're going to see you again in about a month. So what can you gather in the time that we're going to see you again? And also know that there's one key. Because you're creator beings. You always have been. You create, you turn, you open your eyes, you send out this beautiful energy, and you create magic right in front of you. And then you go, what happened there? I don't know what to do here. Because you don't get the idea that you actually created it in that way. So what we're going to tell you is to create something really beautiful and really big. Now, in this energy, creative energy will go a very long way because so many people are wrapped up in fear. It's almost as if the creative energy over here is not being used. So jump over here and use it. Jump over here and create something magical. While everybody's busy over here doing all this, jump over and make something magic happen. You watch how much energy is going to be behind you. Because the magnetical wave, and that's the first time we called it that. It's been called the gravitational wave, but it's actually also a magnetic wave. It'll turn your heart and open you in new ways. You're starting to blend the electrical wave with the magnetic wave. You're starting to learn how to think from the heart and how to feel from the head. And it's tough on you. But now with all the recessional wave on planet Earth doing what it's doing, you have an opportunity to see things from a whole different perspective. So I hope you enjoy that. We hope you take a moment to do the greatest thing you can do. Give thanks for what you've got. Give thanks for the beauty you see all around you right now. Give thanks for being one of the participants that can help to change this world of yours. Watch as you take it to the whole next level. You're magical beings. Take that and give it away. And know that every time you touch something, or every time you send your intent, your love, your energy out, you're sending this beautiful particle stream of light, of photons, of being able to reach each other's heart with your love. And you're masters at it, each and every one of you. Keep up the great work, dear ones. The energy has started. And now we'll see where you take it. It's with the greatest of honor we ask you to treat each other with respect anytime you can. Nurture one another at every opportunity, and don't forget to play well together. Amilra of Rhythmic Service, and I love you. Spavo, dear ones.